Hello, my name is Mr. Addison of Property Hunter Ghana, Ghana's leading real estate agency. Today we will be looking at the various payment options available when buying a property in Ghana. So let's get started.
EMG business.
When buying a house in Ghana, like most other countries, the number one options available to most people is mortgage. So I guess we all know about mortgage or what a mortgage is. But just a little recap, let's take an overview of how the mortgage situation looks like in Ghana. For a total breakdown of the process, visit my channel. You will have a dedicated video of the process of taking a mortgage in Ghana. You could visit my channel for that video. Okay. So mortgage is generally a loan the bank gives you, or the loan you take from the bank to purchase a property, whether it's a house or it's a land or something like that. The bank gives you a loan, you purchase the property, and then you pay the bank over time. In Ghana, it's a very similar situation. Usually, with most banks in Ghana, you make a down payment of 20%, and the bank comes out with 80%. You could make more than 20%, but usually the minimum requirement is making a down payment of 20%, and the bank comes out with the rest of the 80%. Uh, Whether you are a Ghanaian national or you are a foreigner, whether you are living in Ghana or you are outside Ghana, you can still take a mortgage in Ghana. Most mortgage companies will definitely lend you the money to purchase a property in Ghana. There are about 10 banks in Ghana that gives mortgage loan. So you could look up on the internet, you could Google it, and then look for the banks that give mortgage loan, and I'm sure you'll come out with something. If you're having difficulty, please give me a call. I could probably help you out. So for the maximum period that they give out to repay the repayment period, if you are a resident of Ghana, is up to 20 years. Most banks will give you up to 20 years. If you are a non-resident, then most banks will give you up to 15 years. If you are a non-Ghanaian, or you are not a Ghanaian citizen, I think you have a little less number of years to repay the bank. But you could contact the bank, and then they will explain things to you. Each bank has their own number of years they give out. So you could contact a particular bank and discuss your conditions with them, and they will give you the full breakdown. But as I said, for the full breakdown of taking a mortgage in Ghana, I have a full video on my channel. You can check that out and see the full process. The next option usually is grouped into a category called self-financing. So that means you are coming out with the money yourself, and you are not taking it from the bank, right? The options for self-financing are varied. Each excuse me, each estate developer has a different option that they will give to you. So you have to contact the estate developer or the private individual to discuss the options. Some of the options are, let's take a look at the first one. That's the percentage wise option, right? So it means your payment will break it down into percentages. This is usually used by people who are building houses, who want to build a house from scratch. That's what is usually used for those type of people. So for estate company, some of the estate companies have undeveloped lands. So there are lands within the estate that they haven't developed yet, that they will build a house for you on those lands. Most estate developers will not build a house for you on your own land, because there are some risks attached to it. But on their own land, they are ready to build a house for you, and you pay as the house is built. So let's say some developers will say, okay, bring 20%, right? And then they will start with the process. So you make a down payment of 20%. They start with the process, and then when they get to, let's say, the foundation level, you make another payment, say another 20% or another 25%, and then they will continue the building up to, say, the lintel level, and you make another payment, say another 25%, and they build the houses in stages. So with the percentage you pay and when you pay will be pre-discussed. You discuss it before the building starts. Please forgive me if you hear noise in the background. I'm at a very nice spot. This is my favorite spot in Tema. I do live in Tema and my office in Tema, but this is my favorite spot. Maybe you could take a look around. It's a nice spot with a village feel, very quiet, very serene. When you are in Tema, you could pay us a visit, and I am sure you'll be satisfied with the place. As I was saying, so you could pay in stages, right? So you pay 20%, and they will start with the building, and you continue to pay. Say you pay another 25%. They will continue up to the lintel level. You pay another 25%. They continue up to the roofing level. When the roofing level is complete, they will tell you. So you will discuss the percentages you pay and the time you are expected to pay, right? For very experienced developers, they can finish their house depending on the size within 1 to 16 months. Where 12 to 16 months, that's 1 year to a year and a half, right? They could finish your house depending on the size of the house. Some could even finish it within 8 months, depending on the size of the house. But the thing about this is that you will have to pay the money as the house is being built, right? And then when the house is built, your key is handed over to you, and then you move in straight away. With this type of with this type of arrangement, you need to have the money almost ready, or you should be sure that you have the money within the period, the time frame, so that no developer will want to deal with someone who, when they finish with, let's say, the foundation level, and then you are asked to pay for to make another payment for them to continue, and you start dragging your feet. It means they will have uncompleted houses within the estate. No estate developer want to have uncompleted houses within this estate. So you have to make sure you have the finances ready, so that the building will go up quickly, right? And if you have your own land, let's say you bought your own land and you want a developer to build on it, that's a little risky for the developer, because most developers will want to build on their land where they have control and everything, so that in case you don't pay the rest of the money, the person can finish the house and sell it off. But if the house is on your land, the person cannot sell a house on the land that doesn't belong to him. So if you don't continue the payment, then the developer is stuck. Do you understand? So most developers will want to build on your land, but there are cases where you can have a developer building on your own land. That's a contractor building on your own land, and you can come to some sort of agreement where he will do that, even though the experienced developers won't like to go that route. Another option available, right, is the monthly payment. So let's say you see a development that you like, and you want to purchase it, but you don't have the full cash. Let's say you don't even have the down payment for it, right? But you can pay over a period of time, every month. That option is available. What you do is that you contact the developer. You contact me. I'll contact the developer. We sit down. We discuss how the monthly payment will go. Most developers will give you up to maximum 3 years, because usually they won't be adding any interest to the money, so their money cannot stay with you for a long time. So most developers will give you up to 3 years to pay for the house without interest. Just recently I met a foreign developer. They are from I think they are from Asia or so, and for them, they don't do any payment plan. You either have to use mortgage or you pay outright. If you use a payment plan for them, because they are foreign developer, they don't understand the Ghanaian market. They will give you up to a year to pay, but they add interest to the money. So let's say a house that is worth, let's say, $60,000. If you are going to pay over 1 year, they'll give you the house for $90,000, because as the money is with you, money in your hand, they need interest on that money. or you have to pay outright. But for most Ghanaian developers, they can give you up to 3 years. Some will give you up to 1 year. Some will even give you up to 6 months to finish paying up. But some will give you up to 1 year. Some will give you up to 2 years. For the larger development, those with more houses, that is developers that have a lot of houses in their development, they are willing to go up to 3 years, because since they have a lot of development, they can afford to sell other houses and continue with the business. But for those who have limited number of houses, those who build limited number of houses that they are selling, let's say someone build like 3-4 houses, the person cannot afford to let his money get stuck with you whilst he's waiting for you to pay. So for them, they usually give you less time to pay. So some will give you up to 6 months or a year to repay. So that's an option. So let's say the person gives you up to 1 year, right? And their house is, let's say, $120,000. You will have to divide the $120,000 by 12. That's 12 months, and every month you make a regular payment until you finish paying. Some will give you up to 2 years. That means you divide the amount into 24. If it is 3 years, you divide into 36. So with the payment plan, I always tell people that everything is negotiable in Ghana. You can negotiate anything. So even if the developer tells you this is my payment plan, you can still negotiate. Don't be afraid to negotiate, or don't be afraid to ask for how do you call it, some flexibility. People want to sell their houses, and if they realize you are serious to buy the house, they could be a little flexible on you. And but just be truthful to your words. If you say you pay the money in 2 years, make sure they get their house in 2 years. There are cases of people where they start buying the house, and after 1 year they stop paying for the house. The owner will have to go and sell the house and probably give their money back to them or something like that. It means you've wasted the owner's time, you've wasted your own time. So if you are not ready for such short-term commitment, just go and take the mortgage and be free. The mortgage is probably 15 years, 10 years, 20 years, or whatever be the case. But with short-term payment, the commitment, the pressure is huge. So be sure of what you are doing. Be sure of your source of income before you attempt to go that route. So these are some of the options available. There are other options available you could consider. You could also talk to a developer and also give him or her your idea of how you want to repay the money. But these are the most common options available in Ghana when buying a house. So you look at your own situation and see how it goes. I would like to be coming out with this type of video at least once a week, so that we discuss very important topics in real estate and see how it goes. So if you enjoy the video, please subscribe. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. I do have a lot of videos coming up, video tours of some of the houses I'm selling, and I'll be coming out with videos like this to discuss some of the important issues that you may have when buying a property in Ghana. Things like the areas to consider when buying a house right now. The next video I'll be doing is the areas you should consider when buying a house, right? So there are some areas in Ghana that have smart investment. The prices in those areas are a little cheaper. The facilities there are promising. The growth in those areas are promising. So if you are buying a house thinking as a smart business person, you will want to consider things like growth, things like the economy of the area, things like security, things like road network, the water situation, and things like that, to make sure you buy a house that is affordable, that is nice, and that is value for money. So this video is kind of a little long, so let me cut the conversation here. If you have any question, please leave your question in the comment section, or you can give me a call. My number will be displayed on the screen. Property Hunter Ghana. Thank you.